Snakes are amongst the most deadliest and dangerous animals on the planet, and with so many snake species being available, the threats they pose can really be infinite. For most of us, the only encounters we ever have with snakes include zoos. We go in, see a few snakes on display, and admire them. But if you ever get to meet snakes in the wild or within their natural habitat, trust me, you'll find that they could be much meaner in person.
Kurt, take me to the hospital!
In this video, we'll be looking at some of the most terrifying encounters involving snakes ever caught on camera. And here's a helpful hint. If you're watching this alone at night, I recommend that you turn the lights on. Join us as we have a look at the 20 deadliest snake encounters ever. Number 20. Snake peeking out of hiding. You know that feeling when you're so comfortable that you forget there's even a threat somewhere? Well, just imagine how this guy must have felt. In 2017, a man named Gerald Haywood would be visiting his friend in Lawton, Oklahoma, when he was suddenly greeted by an unexpected guest. As the footage would show, Gerald was just pulling up to his friend's house when he opened the door and found a snake popping out of nowhere. The bull snake, which was about 5 feet long, lunged at Gerald, striking him in the eye.
Ow! Kurt, take me to the...
Gerald immediately went into the house and asked his friend Rodney to take him to the hospital, and luckily for him, the bull snake had only missed his eye by a small margin.
Right around the eyelid.
The fact that the snake itself wasn't actually venomous meant that Gerald didn't need much in terms of medical care, but still though, you have to admire the speed with which he asked to be taken to the hospital, and thank goodness he was safe in the end. Number 19. Sewer fishing gone wrong. In June of 2019, a couple of friends and content creators were out on a sewer fishing trip in Miami when they appeared to catch something way different from what they had expected. The friends began by identifying the sewer they wanted to fish in and were all set to begin hunting for their game.
Oh, we're gonna go ahead and throw some food in here. Check it out. Get over here. Get over here. So I'm just gonna jump.
At least the guys didn't end up doing something foolhardy like opening the sewer to see the snake. Instead, they called their friend Jacob, who seemed to be a professional snake catcher.
Might have eggs.
Jacob is here. Jacob, you won't believe it. Look what's inside this sewer.
8 to 10 foot.
Zach, don't even tell him yet. Don't even tell him.
8 to 10 foot.
Jacob eventually sat down to go take a look at the snake, and even I can feel my heart thumping as he goes further down the sewer.
Watch out, bro. This thing is huge.
His head, you just move right there because I'm in here. And
Oh my gosh.
There's
I
only
can't
one
see
way
him at
out.
all.
I don't want to watch.
Can you see him?
No!
I can't see him at all.
I can see his head in there. Oh my gosh.
Slowly and steadily, he pulls the snake out and then reveals it, a massive 15-foot long serpent.
I got the. We have plenty of space back here in our trucks. Okay, you go over there. Kelly.
Let him run out.
While the guys were filming, Jacob eventually brought the snake out, revealing its massive body. Number 18. Granny gets a snake visit. Now, I really hope that you're not scared of snakes because this one is quite the doozy. The next video was taken in Thailand, showing a moment when a snake attacked an elderly woman while she was sleeping. Also taken in 2019, the video clearly shows the grandmother sleeping calmly in her bed while a slithering reptile suddenly comes in looking for a bite. Fortunately, she was able to sense that something was moving around her, and she woke up just in time to spot the dastardly intruder. After having spotted the snake, she was able to get to safety and call someone to help get it out of her house. Yes, I think that this serves as a lesson to everyone. When you go to sleep, just make sure that your doors are locked. Twice even. Number 17. Venomous snake attacks little girl. When it comes to snakes, I don't think that any country can really talk about experiences in the way that Australia can. There are all manner of snakes within that country, and in this case, one of them got a little too close to a little girl. The video, which would be taken in 2020, shows the moment that an eastern brown snake decided to scare a little girl and her family in Queensland. As it shows, the girl, as well as her mother and sister, had come out to do some laundry when all of a sudden, while the mother was trying to lock the door, out jumped the snake. Amidst all the hullabaloo, the mother was finally able to get the girls to safety, although it was definitely not a smooth operation. Interestingly, it was only after the entire fiasco had seemingly been solved that the girl's father finally came out. He even went the wrong way. Talk about coming in at the very last moment. Number 16. Man tests a snake and finds out. Like every other animal, snakes hate it when you test them or generally annoy them. However, the next guy appeared to have missed that in his snake handler training because he went on to taunt the snake, and boy did he regret it. The video shows a guy having way too much fun and being well too comfortable with a snake and a python no less. He kept on playing with the python and even put it close to his face. I'm guessing that he was just trying to make some content and show what an awesome guy that he was, but the snake was not having any of it. As soon as it got close enough, it then bit him right in the head. That'll show you to mess around with a python. Fortunately, the snake was not venomous, so it would not transmit any necessarily dangerous materials, but still, it must have hurt. Number 15. Snake interrupts a drinking session. You know that feeling when you're with your guys and chilling over a round of drinks and food, only to be interrupted by an unlikely visitor? Well, what would you do if that visitor turned out to be a dangerous snake? Years back, CCTV footage would capture the incredible moment when a group of drinking buddies suddenly found their session cut short after a striped snake then decided to get in on some of the fun as well. Fortunately for the men, one of them decided to get up and stretch his legs, only to turn and see the sneaky predator almost at his feet. It was an incredible stroke of luck for the guys, as they were able to evade the snake quickly, plus even the reptile itself appeared to have been startled, and in time they were able to chase it away. Number 14. Robert Irwin gets bitten in the face. If you're like most people, you probably first got a little taste of the animal kingdom while watching Steve Irwin as a child. The famous Australian zookeeper and conservationist spent the bulk of his life teaching about wild animals and helping to preserve them. And until his death in 2006, his work on wildlife education had inspired an entire generation. Robert, Steve's first child, decided to follow in his father's footsteps and also become a zookeeper. And if there's one thing that you definitely need to be ready for, it's animals getting a little nasty sometimes. In this clip from 2021, Robert is seen playing with a particularly long python when it suddenly snaps and took a snip out of his face.
There's a good snake. When I first found this guy, there is no way I could...
Robert would explain in the video that the python must have had no choice other than to bite him as a defense tactic, since it didn't have any venom. Check out the extent of the damage that was done by the bite.
Alright, so I'll get this cleaned up a little bit. I got a little bit too close.
Despite having no fangs or venom, I'm pretty sure that bite must have stung equally as bad. Number 13. Giant python gets too close to animal keeper. If there's one job that I absolutely do not envy, it's the guys at snake shelters that are responsible for keeping the snakes happy and satiated. I understand that snakes can be managed, but they're snakes. You could be joking with one, and it could suddenly snap and attack you, just like this guy. In the next clip, which was taken sometime in August of 2019, an agent at a snake shelter goes to have a little fun time with a python when suddenly it goes straight for his chest. Now sure, the snake didn't have any venom, so the bite was not necessarily dangerous, but I sure would not want to be in this situation myself. Things got even more worse when the guy went back to pick the python up, only for it to begin wrapping around him gradually, as if it were preparing him for a meal. While the guy was able to get the snake back into position, I think the message here was pretty clear. The snake just wanted to be left alone. Number 12. Python bites Chinese tourist mid-kiss. First off, I don't think there's any reason in the world whatsoever for me to ever try to kiss a python. No matter how seemingly friendly they may be, it's important to remember that they are still snakes, and there's just no trusting them. Don't take it from me though, check out this next person. While on a zoo tour in Phuket, Thailand back in 2016, a 29-year-old tourist suddenly developed an urge to kiss a reticulated python. Why in the world that they would do that, I honestly don't know, but it appeared that the python was not ready for any smooches on that day, especially from a stranger that it didn't recognize. It's either that, or perhaps the snake was also just eager for some action and wanted to get a smooch back, just not in the way that the person had hoped for. The snake's handlers were able to get it off of their face in time, although they did suffer some pretty nasty injuries as a result. Reports would confirm that there were about $3,700 in compensation dished out, so hopefully it covered some of the costs of the medical bills. Number 11. Boa constrictor won't let go of Dutch woman's hand. You know how you go on these daredevil shows and they make you do some weird stuff in the name of facing your fears? Well, I think I might have to count myself out of those, because in this next video, I'm going to take you all the way to the Netherlands, where a program called Real Girls in the Jungle tried to force women to essentially take some risks, all in the name of content. According to reports, this specific contestant was tasked with opening a box that contained a dangerous animal. As soon as she did, she was stunned to find that it was a live boa constrictor. You would think that the lady would be more than happy to sit that one out, but no, she went on with the animal, and boy did she pay for that mistake. The boa constrictor did all it could to hold on to the lady's arm, and even with about 3 handlers there, it must have been a Herculean task. Maybe that would teach her not to mess with a sleeping python in the future. Number 10. The venom extraction fail. There are only a few snakes that are so deadly and fierce as the rattlesnake. They literally shake their rattles in a bid to warn any potential prey, but even with the heads up, a rattlesnake that's committed enough will always get you. Even experts who are experienced in snake handling can be snipped once in a while by a rattlesnake if it gets a strong enough whiff. Just take this video as reference. In 2010, a herpetologist known as George Van Horn would be bitten by an eastern rattlesnake, all while trying to take some of its venom at the Reptile World Serpentarium in St. Cloud, Florida. George was a well-experienced snake handler, but he appeared to have gotten a little bit too close for comfort, as this little guy got a snip of his hand while the venom extraction was taking place.
He's ready. Oh, he got bit. He got bit.
Fortunately, though, the Serpentarium had enough antivenom facilities, and George was treated quickly, but maybe the snake just needed a little bit of a snack while giving its venom away. Number 9. Anaconda attacks capybara in the wild. When you're in the wild, pretty much anything goes, and when it comes to the anaconda, having freedom of movement in the wild is just a given. In this clip, taken in December of 2009, an anaconda measuring about 6 meters in length is seen strutting around its domain when it spots the perfect prey, that being a capybara. Known as the world's largest rodent, the capybara can grow up to 4 feet long and measure up to 100 pounds in weight, so you can imagine the glee on this anaconda's face when it came upon this family of capybaras. It's well known that anacondas don't have any venom, so they cannot poison their prey, but instead they'll latch onto them and literally squeeze them to death. Considering the size difference between the two animals, it's safe to say that the little capybara had no hope as soon as it got caught. Now there's a hearty meal if there ever was one. Number 8. Snake breaks into an internet cafe. There's hardly anything like being absolutely surprised by a snake when you least expect it. For this guy, I'm pretty sure it was an experience of a lifetime. The clip, which would be taken in 2017 and shot in Thailand, shows CCTV footage of an internet cafe being run during a regular busy day. One of the customers appears to be on his way out of the cafe after a session, but he appeared not to notice that there was actually a snake close to the door. The moment that he finally got wind of his slithering companion, he then flew into a hysterical fit. According to reports, the particular serpent was a rat snake, so it was not venomous, but try telling that to a scared cafe customer. Maybe the little guy just wanted to come in and use the facilities. Whatever it was, he sure caused enough trouble for one day. Number 7. Mother python attacks a zookeeper. Mothers will do just about anything to protect their children. While snakes are usually predators that go after other animals' children, you should actually see how fierce they can be when it comes to protecting their own. This clip, which was taken in 2021, shows noted animal handler Jay Brewer getting into quite a sticky situation after he had attempted to take a python's eggs. Even while Jay had tried to maneuver his way around the python, you could see that she was not having any of it. This lady knew that her eggs were in danger, and she immediately jumped into fight mode. As soon as Jay appeared to hold the clutch of eggs and let his guard down for one moment, the mother python absolutely pounced.
So the good part is with this smaller clutch, I can levitate. Oh man. Oh, I got it right in the face.
Fortunately, Jay's reflexes were quick to act, and he avoided what could have very well been quite the unfortunate situation. Number 6. Giant python found underground. Snakes are the master of disguise. They're well adept at hiding in almost plain sight, whether it's to rest or stalk potential prey. And in our next video, we see a group of snake hunters in Vietnam who have discovered a massive python that appears to have hidden itself underground. According to reports, the hunters had been surveying the land to see if there were any reptilian inhabitants, and when they came upon the snake's location, they then began digging. So, what did they find under all of that rubble? Well, probably the largest snake that you've ever seen. It looked more like the snake had just finished a huge meal and was looking to hibernate for a while. The poor guy just wanted a nap. Number 5. Rabbit fends off snake from her babies. Rabbits might be cute and all, but you sure don't want to get them mad. Regardless of what animal you are, you'll absolutely get what's coming for you. In our next clip, which was taken back in 2015, a black rat snake could be seen already wrapping itself around a baby rabbit. With its prey firmly within its grasp, the snake decided to take its time. But what it didn't account for was the fact that the rabbit's mother was close by. And as soon as the mother bunny saw her baby was in danger, the fight was on. Once she was able to ascertain that her baby was okay, she turned her attention to the slithering serpent and made it pay the price. Despite the snake's best efforts to flee the scene, the rabbit would not let go. That'll teach him to never mess with the wrong mother again. Number 4. Pet snake attacks woman. Personally, I'm not really sure why anyone would want to have a snake as a pet. No matter how seemingly domesticated they might be, you have to remember that they're still snakes, and anything could literally happen. Just take this woman for example. In a truly gnarly video that was shot in 2020, the lady is seen trying to tend to her pet snake when it suddenly comes out of its cubicle and absolutely rushes her.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well,
Need a hand?
no, I'm gonna have Chris help, hopefully.
The video is a perfect representation of just how dangerous and swift that a python attack can be. Despite even getting help from someone else, the woman had a truly hard time getting the snake off of her body.
No.
Kind of figured.
Nope. Okay, no, I need you.
Even worse, the lady then began to lose a lot of blood as the snake just wouldn't let go.
Keep going. Oh! All right. So,
Whee, look at
Fucking
that
A.
blood.
let's get.
Want me to stop filming and help you?
Yeah, please.
It looks like the grumpy snake must have gotten up on the wrong side of the bed. Number 3. Brave dog fights off king cobra. If you see a king cobra suddenly slithering in your garden, one of the first things that you do would probably be to pack up and get the heck out of there. However, for this dog, cowardice was not on the menu. Despite meeting a 12-foot-long king cobra, the dog held his own, although it would be a tense encounter to say the least. Fortunately for this canine crusader, one of his buddies came over to help him out. Now, if you know anything about snakes, you'll know that a numbers advantage might not necessarily amount to much, especially when it comes to a cobra, but these brave little doggos were able to eventually fend off the intruding serpent. I'm sure there's a lesson about teamwork somewhere in this video. Number 2. Diamondback rattlesnake in a pond. A few years ago, a YouTuber couple by the name of Cole and Jay that posts adventure content decided to go on a little fishing trip. They vlogged the entire experience, catching different fishes on their journey, but unknown to them, they had apparently gone a bit into snake-infested waters, and while Cole was still looking for some game, she suddenly saw something slithering under the river's surface. That's when she reached for it and was surprised to find a diamondback rattlesnake.
He's a giant! Oh my gosh!
While Cole and Jay were admiring their unlikely find, it appeared that the rattlesnake was not so pleased to have been pulled out of its habitat and made sure to communicate that.
That is a giant.
This is, woo!
A giant diamondback.
Cole continued to show off the snake despite the initial bite, and our guy just kept on nibbling at her hand. After getting bitten a couple more times, the two eventually released the snake and tended to the wounds. The snake was fortunately non-venomous, so she only needed to get a few stitches on that arm. Number 1. The snake charmer fail. Snake charmers are professional performers who wow audiences with their skills of pacifying and seemingly controlling snakes. For the better part of the best, it's almost like they have a telepathic connection of these snakes or something, but even the most highly trained charmers can still be put at risk. In this clip, we see a 35-year-old snake charmer performing with a king cobra. While everything seems to be going just fine, they would soon turn south after the cobra had decided to get a bite of his arm.
Unfortunately for the handler, it was not his day. After a few turns, the snake lunged towards his arm and bit him.
According to reports, the snake charmer went unconscious only a few moments after the bite and was immediately rushed to a nearby hospital where they were able to administer an antivenom and save his life. Although he did have to spend 3 days on life support. If I were him, my snake charming days would likely be automatically over. I can't go around risking my life for someone else's entertainment, now can I? I think it's safe to say that we should all be more wary of snakes. No one ever wants to become attacked, but being safe is definitely better than being sorry. What do you think? Have you witnessed any up-close encounters with these slithering rascals? Let us know all about it in the comments section down below, and I'll see you next time.